Hey guys, what's cracking? Godsman here, coming at you with the next installment of the custom card review series. Now we're on to episode 2. We just got started with a really strong beginning for this season with a lot of really good customs, not a lot of complaints on my end, which is kind of a breath of fresh air. It's just another indication that everyone's gotten more on board about good card design and stuff, and folks who are veterans to the series and veterans to the custom card community space here, they already know a lot of the obvious do's and not do's, that kind of stuff. So it's cool that we can get more into the subtle details and the mind space behind the designs rather than try to correct some of the obvious crap there. So really good quality and also some really nice ideas. Basically all standard cards aside from the beginning, so maybe we're going to get into some other formats today, or maybe it's all going to be standard again. I'm fine with either way. I know it's going to start with standard because, as promised, we're going to start with Tweediger's other half here. He wasn't that much above the limit, it felt like, but I just wanted to get these in here because I think it's probably gonna be a cool concept. We're doing some destined ones, and B, it's like, yeah, I don't know, I guess I'm just a bit of a pushover sometimes, not gonna lie. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Okay, scratch that. Gwen idea, I'm gonna imagine it'll be next destined one cards. Cool. 13k, twin drive, persona, blah blah blah. Yeah, like he says, the basic stuff, right? Thank you. Okay. Destined 1 of Ruin Kaziel. Okay, this sounds like a Reziel kind of thing. Grade 3 Keter. Yep, it's a Keter one. Auto Auto Vanguard circle once per turn. When this unit attacks, costs Counterblast 1 and Soul Blast 1, performs all the effects. I think it's a spelling error, whatever. Performs all the effects below, depending on the number of time, again, a card has been put into your opponent's damage zone this turn. Oh, okay. We're getting some real Angel stuff, baby. All the AF people who were disappointed by Reziel and subsequently Liel, I guess this is for you. 2 or more. Draw a card and this unit gets power plus 5,000 in a turn. Alright, start small, kind of like Barrel Magnus. 4 or more, choose a face-up card from your damage zone and call it your rear circle. The called unit gains power plus 5,000 for every 2 cards in your damage zone. Nice. Choose a card for your drop and put in your damage zone. Alright, cool. So it's not even a rescue check. It's just a multi-attack from the damage zone, utilizing the many properties of Angel Feathers that way. 6 or more, cost discard a card from your hand. This unit gains critical +1, and your opponent cannot call Sentinels from hand of Guardian Circle until end of battle. Okay. There's still a divine skill there, but I just want to remark right now that this is a pretty big number, 6 or more, when it's based on the number of times a card has been put into your opponent's damage zone this turn. How are you going to keep looping all that, right? Like, I don't see anything from this main effect that's maintaining that. And if it's the divine skill, which I'm not looking at right now, like, if it's the divine skill that's going to do that, then that's a little bad because it's like once per game. So you're predicating your main effect purely on the divine skill to actually get that main effect, which seems backwards. Usually it would be the opposite, like something like Varga Dragres, where his primary skill is something you use all game, and it also leads into the divine skill. But I don't know, maybe there's some method to his madness here. Divine skill auto on the Vanguard circle at the beginning of your main phase. Ooh, that's an interesting timing clause for a divine skill. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or higher and they have 4 or more cards in their damage zone, costs Soul Blast 1 until end of this turn. When a triggered unit is put into your opponent's damage zone, activate the same trigger effect as that card's trigger effects. Okay, this is super flavorful. I like the flavor on that. Okay. So, your opponent be hitting some defensives? Nah, fam, you're gonna be getting that too. But I still have a couple of complaints. This doesn't interact with this very much. And it doesn't ensure this, like, at all. So this feels super hard to achieve unless you have some, like, really important rear guards to fulfill that condition, because otherwise I don't see how you're ever going to get anywhere past this. And even then, it's only on win attack with the Vanguard. So the best case scenario for that is you swing at both your rears and your opponent graciously lets them both connect. Am I missing something here? Because it just doesn't feel like it doesn't work, right? It doesn't work at all. And I also like that you can copy trigger effects. I think that's a really cool parallel type divine skill. But it does require your opponent to have 4 or more cards in their damage zone, which means that unless they hit a defensive heal or something of that sort, you're only going to at max get this once if they 5th damage check a defensive. that's not very high value for a divine skill. It's kind of threatening, you know, if you're trying to seal the deal as much as possible, but it's not that high value. So I think that the duplicity of this one should have been put towards the entire turn and not have that pseudo opponent limit break condition. It just be whenever for that turn, which is a really cool skill because your opponent's at low damage and they want to rely on defensives. You can just say, yeah, we get it too now, bud. But aside from that, it doesn't function very well, and this doesn't function very well either. So Caziel has some cool ideas going on, but it falls through because it lacks any way to get online, if you get what I mean. It's weird. Okay, so Destin 1 Infinity, Barrel Mag, hey, yeah, cool. I hope we get a Eugene too then, because Barrel and Eugene were like the two from set 1 of Overdress that were kind of like ignored in a way, so we got to get them some love. Continues in the Vanguard circle. During your turn, if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, all of your front row gains power plus 1000 for each card in your soul. Oh, okay, so it's like Shaharot Vampire, except it's a continuous skill, not the beginning of the battle phase, so it can stack mid-battle if you're putting stuff in the soul during the battle phase. So in a way, it's somewhat superior to what Shaharot has going on there, which is kind of interesting to think about. This is a B series card, right? Out on the Vanguard circle once per turn. When this unit attacks the Vanguard, if you have 5 or more cards in your soul, costs Counterblast 1, Soul Charge 2, excellent. I love that a Barrel Magnus retrain can fill its own soul. Choose 2 of your rear guards, and they get power plus 5000 until end of turn. Then, if you have 10 or more cards in your soul, put a rear guard in your soul, choose a card from your soul, call to the rear, and your opponent puts all their rear guards in the same column as the called unit into soul. Nice. Cool. Okay. This is a lower risk, lower return version of Barrow with that effect. You still get some power, and you also get to do a miniature field wipe. It's just a column wipe. And you still get a little bit of multi-attack, but it's easier to fulfill the condition. And because it's soul charging 2, it's also in of itself inherently helping you towards that condition, and it's giving more power generically to your entire front row, which can include the card that you're calling back because, again, unlike Shaharot, it is continuous during your turn. I like the design premise of that. It feels more mid-range compared to what Barrel Magnus is right now. Divine Skill. Auto on the Vanguard circle at the end of the beginning of your battle. Just at the beginning of your battle phase, please, because you could like choose the order in which effects proc. There's multiple effects that stay at the beginning of the battle phase, so this is redundant and also needlessly confusing. Yeah, that threw me for a second. I was like, huh? It's like a Makoto dies over. She goes, huh? If you have 15 or more cards in your soul, cost Counterblast 1, choose a trigger unit from your soul, and return all trigger units of the same trigger type as that unit to your deck and shuffle. Ooh. Okay. Cool in concept, but there's another issue, man. So yes, recycling triggers is really good because it lets you be more threatening, right? But, I mean, that's all it does, whereas Reziel also got to do the drive and the heal thing, so I don't know, I feel like this could be powered up a little bit more. But there's another issue aside from that. What triggers are we putting back? Are we supposed to assume it's from the soul? Because you chose a trigger unit from the soul, but then which trigger units are returning back, other than the same type? Are they from the drop zone? Are they from the field as well? How far do we want to take our Blader Mouse effect? I don't understand. So that one's kind of a question mark out of 10, not gonna lie. I mean, these two skills are really cool. I think these are really nice for Barrow Magnus. It gives you the ability to tap into your Dark State's generic card pool a lot and gives you the freedom to play the game for a couple more turns and not just like play the 5D's theme song and go going fast makes me feel alive and then just like go for a grade 3 OTK or don't win at all kind of strategy. It was very much all or nothing for a while with Barrow Magnus, it felt like. This is more even keeled, and that's good. But this divine skill just doesn't make sense in a couple different areas. So that part's of it kind of a flop. But still, it's better than Caziel, so I'll give it credit for that. Next one in mediocrity, Eugene. Hey, it's Eugene, but Why'd you call it why mediocrity, dude? Come on, give Eugene a break, bro. He's already having a hard enough time as it is. I mean, the community has no problems ripping him a new one, unless you're a Eugene fan. Then you do nothing but suck him off. Act on the Vanguard circle once per turn. Rest one or more rear guards. Okay. For every 2 rear guards rested, choose one of your opponent's rear guards. Retire it, and for each unit retired by this effect, draw a card, and this unit gets 5,000 power until end of turn. Nice, nice, nice. That's already feeling good. If no units were retired, draw a card. Stand all of your rest rear guards, and those units get 5,000 power to end of turn. Perfect. Perfect effect. Freaking perfect. Down to the minute detail. Uses the rest mechanic perfectly, gets you power in just the right amount and increments. It's giving you draw power to help combat Eugene's low advantage quantity. It's freaking perfect, man. I love this effect so far. Auto on the Vanguard circle once per turn. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, cost Energy Blast 3 and Soul Blast 3. Ooh, okay, so it's a lower Soul Blast cost, but still using the soul building aspect of Eugene. Nice. Look at the same number of cards at the top of your deck as the number of your opponent's open rear circle. Alright. Choose up to 2 cards from among them, call them the rear in the same column as each other, and shuffle your deck. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, you may put the rest to the top or bottom of your deck in any order. Oh, that's good. Okay. Mid-battle multi-attack, right, for a column. And if that wasn't bad enough for your opponent, you also get to stack. Now, your search radius is up to 5, right? So if you've done your job properly and you've enabled your Oswald and you've wiped their entire board, then you'll look at top 5, call 2, and then the other 3 can be stacked to the top or bottom. Wow. I mean, I know it's Soul Blast 3 and Energy Blast 3, but you could probably sustain this for a few turns, right? Especially because energy just comes back naturally. You could probably get 9 soul over the course of a few rounds. So you're looking at this effect for at least 3 turns. That might be a little bit too good, not gonna lie. It certainly doesn't scream mediocrity, right? That's a really strong effect, and this is also a really strong effect. I mean, this effect, if you're resting like 4 rear guards, you could be like, I don't know, plussing 2 off of it and getting like a bunch of power. Now, of course, if you do that, then you are I guess the idea is that the rear guards are still rested, so you wouldn't naturally get optimal combat with them, but there are some support cards like that dinosaur that Eugene got, and I think it was set 2 he got it, right? Where it stands up being in the battle phase, and they also have other cards that are sort of like that where they get powers and stands, so it's not that bad. You could probably still mitigate that and still get all of your advantage of multi-attack, so this is really strong. We haven't gotten to Divine Skill yet. Speaking of, Divine Skill, auto on the Vanguard circle. At the end of the battle, this unit attacked a grade 3 or greater Vanguard. If your opponent's rear guards was retired this turn, okay, so if you want to play around Eugene, don't leave any rear guards, I guess, if you can help it, because then the Divine Skill's not online. And this unit did not stand by any card effect this turn. Ah, okay. Cost counter plus 1 stands, unit gets drive -2 until end of turn. I like that. I like that. It's just it's an extra beater skill, which means that it doesn't work with Oswald, unfortunately. But if you don't have Oswald available, this is sort of like your Oswald. Now, you don't get your drive back, so you're just getting you just get like a -2 drive, so you can't get any drives. But you also get to keep any crits that you put on it. Unlike Oswald, it's a good compromise. It feels like Vanguard drag us a lot that way, so I see the basis, I see the line. This one's really good. There's a lot of strong effects. They all feel relevant to Eugene, and they've also did well in putting the resource costs in a variety of ways. You've got field resources with the rest, you've got Energy Blast and Soul Blast here, and then you've got a Counter Blast here once. It's not very Counter Blast heavy, this deck, which I guess is the way Eugene generally played, to my understanding, so it makes sense for Eugene to not be very Counter Blast heavy. Yeah, this is the best one of the 3. I think this crap would, like, wreck some dudes, not gonna lie. This is a lot for a unit to be able to do. This is quite a bit. Might be a little bit too powerful, but then again, it sort of depends on the support cards that would come with Eugene to be able to maximize this, and if they can't maximize it that well, then this would still just be a very strong deck. So definitely the best of the 3. Mediocre, man, come on. Destined 1 of Stagnation, Mari, Lyrical Monasterio. Why? Wow, this sounds so depressing for Lyrical. I feel sad about that. Act on the Vanguard circle once per turn. Cost, discard 1 card from your hand. Choose one of your rear guards, search your deck for up to 1 card the same name as that unit, call it to rear, and shuffle your deck. Main phase, Liel and Morta, for the price of a discard instead of a counterblast. Alright, so, Well, I mean, it's still a break even, right? Because Leo bound the unit, whereas this one, you just get to call another one. So you're converting any card in hand into a copy. So I guess you might have like a balloon mechanic going on here. Out on the Vanguard circle once per turn, when this unit attacks, costs Counterblast 1. Choose one of your rear guards, and all of your unit with the same name as the chosen rear guard gains power plus 5,000 until end of turn. All right. If 4 or more units with the same name as that unit, this unit gets drive plus 1 until end of that turn. Okay, okay. Yeah, this feels a lot like Bloom. You just make your columns of all the same unit. You get the 4 of copies, and bada bing, bada boom. That means you're going to be playing a lot of 4-ofs in the deck, a lot like Liel would, but it also means that, unfortunately, if you damage check one of them, then you need to find a way to get it out of the damage zone, or you're not going to be able to get this effect off optimally, which is kind of sucks, man. You don't want to be taking damage liberally then, because every damage check is sort of like playing Russian roulette with your own deck composition. I don't know if I like that. Divine Skill, auto on the Vanguard circle. At the end of the battle, this unit attacked a grade 3 or greater Vanguard. Cost, choose one of your rear guards and return all of your rear guards the same card name as that unit to your hand. Okay, that's very lyrical. That's good. For every card returned, call a card from your hand to an open rear circle and until end of turn. The called units are regarded as having the same name as this unit and gain 5,000 power and can attack from the back row. Booyah! All right. So a lot like Chris Rain, this doesn't inherently multi-attack, but on the Divine Skill, and with the Divine Skill, this one is pretty crazy. Whereas Chris Rain has like a really big one multi-attack, unless you choose Anna's, then Anna's can call another card, but it's usually not that strong, right? You just get one big multi-attack with it that also has Chris Rain's power. With this one, you get 2 full columns potentially. And if you're giving them 5k and they can attack from the back row, if the things that you're calling back happens to be grade 2s or grade 3s, you might have some pretty good beaters on your hand, man. That's kind of wild, the amount of multi-attack you can get. The burst here is insane. Like, this seems a little bit tough to achieve, depending on the situation, like really tough to achieve. And this helps, but it's a break even to help, so it's not the most impressive thing, but at least it's relatively free. But then this Divine Skill, whoo-wee, that one turn you got, boy, oh my god, you're going to do that Murakumo back row swing-a-majig, and it's going to be great. Your opponent going to be sweating. If you don't kill him on that turn, though, it's going to be kind of sucky, because then from here on out, I mean, you're just kind of like left in the open. I mean, hell, because you called back the cards that you bounced back, ideally, that's what you did. Yeah. I mean, I guess you don't have to call back the same cards because I'm reading this a little bit more. Call a card to an open and their regards having the same name. So the whole same name thing as the Vanguard, I guess that's just more so that they can share, but they can be different units while sharing a name. It's very Murakumo. Very, very Murakumo, which is not what I would expect for a Lyrical Monasterio deck, but it's actually kind of an interesting design. I like it, kind of. I don't think I'd play a deck like this necessarily, just out of personal taste, but it seems pretty cool, and I can see where it'd be more amenable to some playstyles. Destined one of Law, Grand Amour. Okay, just looking at that right away, this is going to be a Great Nature card. Stoicheia, High Beast. Oh yeah, I'm so certain this is a Great Nature card. Active the Vanguard circle once per turn. Counterblast 1. Choose 2 of your rear guards. They get 5,000 power and done a turn. At the end of your turn, retire this. It's so Great Nature. Holy crap, is it Great Nature. I mean, real good credit to the freaking name. I immediately thought of Lox, the elephant Vanguard. Okay, auto on the Vanguard circle. When your rear guard with power 20k or more attacks a Vanguard, success. Okay. If this unit is stand, alright, you may have that unit get 5,000 power until end of that battle. If you do at the end of that battle, retire that unit. Wow, even more Great Nature things. Okay, this is so much like that. And if you GN players out there, rejoice. This is 100% your Vanguard. Okay, no multi-attack though, it looks like. It's just a lot of power so far. Divine Skill. Oh, okay. Back to Divine Skill. Is this one also going to be a multi-attack? Out on the Vanguard circle. At the end of battle, this unit attacked a grade 3 or greater Vanguard. If you do not have any front row rear guards, okay, so you've been using this auto skill for sure. You know, oddly enough, that's kind of funny, because even though this obviously feels like success, it also somewhat feels like Night Rose with the hollow mechanic, where she would give 5k and then they would just die, but because it's like Skull Dragons or Beatrices or Ghosties or whatever, you don't really care. You're gonna bring them back from the drop zone anyway. And I guess in a similar way, you do have that revival aspect to Stoicheia, because Stoicheia adopted the Grand Blue side of things, so you know what, fair play. Cost Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1. Stand this unit, called it. I'm calling a lot about this card. And it gains drive -1 until end of turn. Then choose 2 cards for your drop, call the rear guard. Okay. I'm calling way too much about this card. It feels like I read this already without even reading it. Call them to rear, and those unit gains power plus 10,000 until end of turn. At the end of your turn, retire those called rear guards. Okay. This is cool. This is very great nature flavorful. Like, imagine your Vanguard was doing so much great nature crap, slowly teetering into the Grand Blue with this, and then suddenly it's like, boom, all Grand Blue, baby. What a interesting duality to this Vanguard here. Oddly though, it fits. You know, I never really thought about it, but the Grand Blue and Great Nature mechanics kind of do synergize in an odd way. This is making me rethink that somewhat. Huh. Okay. You know what? I kind of like it. I do dig this. The Divine skill is super impactful and strong. You kind of, it sort of reminds me of Vavash, right? Like, Vavash will be able to get 6 attacks, so it's like all of your front rows are going twice in a way. But with Vavash, it's like restands. With this one, it's a restanding Vanguard, but then you call 2 from the drop zone, so those are getting reset. But they're also getting plus 10,000 power, which is even better. And let's not forget, right? You can do this again, so it's actually plus 15, bro. And then they just go back to the drop zone. Ooh. That's good. That's cool. And if for whatever reason you can't fulfill the 20,000 or more power condition, then, I mean, you just choose less rear guards to commit to the field, and then you can use this to +1 or even +2 potentially. And there you go. You can get that off anyway. Oh yeah. You know what? I'm gonna be real. Eugene, pretty spicy. But this is my favorite one. Oh yeah, this right here. This is the good crap. This is the shiznit, yo. Alright, Destined One of Individuality, Galaxios. You see, this actually feels a little bit more like the lyrical name, right? I don't know, that's just me. Continuous on the Vanguard Circle. During your turn, this unit gets 5,000 power for every planet card devoured this turn. Okay. Obviously, if it wasn't Brand Gate enough, we have to have our own exclusive set order, right? Okay, let me drink some. Alright. Axe Vanguard Circle once per turn. Cost Energy Blast 3. Choose one of your planet cards to your order zone and devour it. Okay, which means you get 5,000 power, and this scales every turn, but since it's a once per turn, unless you have rear guards doing devouring, you're devouring once per turn. Divine skill, Axe, Vanguard Circle. It's another act. Wow, interesting. So everything you're doing is basically the main phase. Cost Counterblast 1, choose a planet card from your order zone, devour it. Never mind, I guess you devour twice if you used it, and perform its effect twice. Then, the next time a planet would be devoured, return the devoured planet to the hand, choose a planet card from your hand, and put in your order zone instead. You only need to pay the cost once. Okay. Keyword devour. Oh, thank God. I did not know what devour meant. I was just thinking it was like flipping cards in the order zone face down like one on a roll. Put the planet card in the order zone to drop when it is devoured. Abilities such as when this card is devoured is activated. Okay, so it's somewhat akin to Gravidia that way. Gravidia also threw away the meteorites, right? And meteorites got effect when they were thrown away. He just gave it a keyword attached to that act of putting them to the drop zone. All right. Only bosses this time, just to give an idea of what I think would be an interesting play style. Support cards be here all day, so take these as teaser of what the deck style is. Yeah, and honestly, for a couple of them, I'm really curious about what their rear guards look like. Most particularly, Casual would need some killer rear guards to make that effect even live at all. I threw a few planet cards. Yeah, that's good, because Galaxios is very much a, well, it depends on the planet. I mean, the Divine skill is also beholden on whatever the skill of the planets that you devour are. So, let's see here. This Solar, oh, these are so planet names. Okay. Grade 1 planet set order. Play this if you have a Vanguard with Galaxios in its name. I'm going to assume that if Galaxios had a ride line, the grade 1, the ride line would be when this unit is placed on a Vanguard circle, search your deck for up to 1 planet and add it to your hand, something like that. You know how Brand Gate works. Auto in the order zone. When this card is devoured, choose or punish rear guards, retire, choose one of your units, and it gets 5,000 power in a turn. Yep, pretty cool, pretty basic stuff. I like that. Ceruleus, grade 2 planet. All right. Galaxios restriction. When this unit is devoured, discard a card from your hand, choose your Vanguards, get to drive +1 on a turn. Ooh, nice. Even more pressure. Because you activate it, okay, so you activate it twice, but this only does the, which means, and oh, I like that. If you CB and you devour the grade 2 Ceruleus, you discard 1 and get 2 drive. Heck yeah. And not only that, when you devour, you add a planet back to your hand and then throw it back to the order zone. So effectively, it's the plussing on that starts to become very real and also very threatening because you're devouring more, which means you're also getting more power. I like that. Okay. I'm digging it. I'm getting into it. Grade 3, wow, what a shocker with the grade 2 and a grade 1, right? Play this, you have a Galaxios. Auto on the order zone. When this unit is devoured, when this card is devoured by your Vanguard's ability, cost Soul Blast 1, bind this card. Ooh. Choose one of your Vanguards until end of turn. It gets auto on the Vanguard circle once per turn. At the end of the battle, this unit attacked. If this unit attack did not hit, cost discard 2 cards from your hand. Stand this unit gets drive -1 on it. Fascinating. The Gravidia playstyle is very, very real. Now, Solaris is a lot like Big Meteor, where it binds itself, so you can't keep abusing it, but it's very powerful. Big Meteor counted as 2 meteors for the conditions of Gravidia, which is what made it powerful. In this case, you give a Draconic Descendant effect to Galaxios. Part and parcel with an extra drive, that means that the sucker is going to be coming in for triple drive and then twin drive if you proc this, which means that the discard 2 is immediately paid back by the twin drive, even though you have the minus drive there. Oh, it's beautiful. And if you have some pretty strong threatening rear guards there, and also the Devourers is making it more powerful overall, that's great. That's great. You know, thinking about this, right? There's another brand deck this reminds me of. It reminds me of Vanguard. Vanguard also had 3 strategy orders. They had the grade 1, which was a retire with a little bit of power. The grade 2 for that one was intercept, blocking, and at more power. This one gives drive, so whereas the 10k on that was supposed to be like your medium threat level strategy card, the drive here is the medium threat level. Now the big threat level for that one was I think like Death Winds or something was the name of it. You give 5k your front row every time your Vanguard attacks, so it kind of scales. For this one, you're scaling this sucker by if you give your Vanguard this effect twice, then it gets 2 Draconic Descendant effects, and you could discard 4 to attack 2 more times. And then at that point it would actually be a -1 because teehee, your drive minuses stack because it's until end of turn. But still, it's definitely worth it to do that. Wow, yeah, if Gravidia and Vanguard had a baby, which is a horrifying thought to have in your mind, please don't think about that too hard, this would be the deck. Okay, oh god, I don't know if I like Galaxios the best or if I like Grand Armor the best. Grand Armor has really cool callbacks to a couple of the G-era keywords, whereas Galaxios is taking 2 of my favorite brand decks and smashing them together. Honestly, I'd probably play Galaxios before I'd play Grand Armor. Let me not cap. I probably want to play Galaxios. Okay, Rank 8 wins this one. It wins my award for your most favorited. have a gold star. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and scroll past like the comments and stuff. This dude, he goes over to some of these cards and he gets like his 2 cents. So if you ever go on the post and want to read what he says, then go ahead and do that. We really don't have the time for it though. So let me scroll past there. Alright, got Gansalot, and we've already got Vilvi, which by the way, I was told is actually a Honkai reference, and I'm pretty sure I got extra views because I put her on my thumbnail and people are like, Honkai, I click. So nice. Ooh, let's see, what was your name again? Oops. What was your name again? Sky Striker, right? Oh, based Yu-Gi-Oh reference there. Thanks, bro. Good card. All right, so let's go down. RPG Master. Here's a couple of G-era. Thank you. Yes. Okay. Okay, cool. Let's get into some G-era stuff. So he says G-era, which I'm going to go under the assumption means we're talking about G, probably the end of G, and not premium. So keep that in mind. Perdition Captain Dragon, Vortex Dragonoid. All right, okay. It's not just Overlord. Good. Grade 3, 11k power. Oh, this is definitely for G then. Flame Dragon. Auto on the Vanguard circle, Soul Blast 1. When this unit is placed, or when your G unit strides, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose of your opponent's rear circles. Retire all cards on it. Okay, so it's just like Overlord. Then you get around block. And for, well, I mean, actually no, because it's one of your opponent's rear circles. So it doesn't quite get around lock the way that Overlord can. So that's a little bit of a balancing aspect. And for every one of your opponent's columns with no rear guards, all of your units get 3k until end of turn. That's a lot of power coming from a Strider. Especially because you can proc this twice. So even if you can nail an entire column with the first Soul Blast, you can nail it with the second Soul Blast. Holy crap, that's strong. On the Vanguard circle, choose a card from your hand and put in your soul. When this unit is placed, or at the beginning of your ride phase, oh my god, there's more. If you do, for every one of your opponent's columns no rear guards, draw a card. So again with this, right? What's interesting is this actually combos with this. Not just because you're going to be retiring to help fulfill this condition, but this is also choosing a card and putting it into the soul, which helps with the soul blast cost. So it's self-sustaining. That's an intriguing design philosophy. It's definitely pretty strong, to be sure. But on the other hand, it does feel very in line with the G Kagero design philosophy, where their element of field control has your opponent like makes a different they make the difficult choice, right? Remember Ziegenberg. For those of you guys who know Ziegenberg's restand would discard the amount of cards from your hand equal to the amount of rear circles your opponent has with units on them. So if your opponent didn't commit any rear guards, then yes, they dodged around your field retires, but that meant Ziegenberg got to restand with no discards, which is a +1, which was more impactful during that time. That's pretty strong. Over here, it's a similar way. It's like, okay, how do you want to make your columns, and are you going to make your columns vulnerable by only leaving one unit on a column? Because then this condition is easy to fulfill. So you'll want to make full columns, but you make full columns, they start to become easy pickings. Furthermore, because this is based on 3k to the entire board, the Kagero player is then inclined to commit to the board. So if they're playing against a fellow retire deck, like let's say Thunderstrike for instance, they're going to be in a bad way because now both of the players are having to decide how much do I want to deny the opponent's gimmick while also not playing into it, but also playing into my strategy, which requires board presence. This is interesting design. Okay, Infernal Gatekeeper Perdition, Vortex Dragonlord Gatekeeping, SMH. Okay. Act on the Vanguard circle, counterblast 1, choose a face-down card from your G-zone, turn it face up. Choose 2 of your opponent's rear circle in different columns, retire all cards on them, and if you have more rear guards than your opponent, this unit gets drive +1 until end of turn. Alright, this feels similar to how the Legion Vortex unit worked, right? Except instead of a damage ping, it was, because that one was, you retire 2 of the opponent's rear guards and then you ping the Vanguard damage. This one is you retire 2 rear guards and then you get a drive. So it feels somewhat similar. It's, what did Kai call it? Trinity Flame! That's what he called it. Yeah, it's sort of like the Trinity Flame Reborn for this stride, so good flavor there. Continuous Vanguard Generation Break 3. All of your units get power +5,000 for every one of your opponent's empty rear. This is a little bit too much. You should be getting +25k to your entire board just because your opponent got field wiped. It's too easy for you to field wipe. This is going to be retiring 2, and then this is going to be retiring 2. So unless your opponent has resist, there's no way around that. This is too much. This should probably have been reduced to all units get 2k. That way at the max it's like 10k per unit, and then it's like a 20k column, which is really savage, but it's still fair, right? 5k is just ridiculous even for GZ. Auto on the Vanguard circle, Generation Break 4. That's how you know it's GZ, because Generation Break 4 probably would have been more common had G kept going past F14. Counterblast 1 and Soul Blast 1. At the end of that battle where this unit attacked, a little bit of weird English there, but we've been ignoring a lot of that. If you have a hard card Perdition in its card name and your opponent has 3 or more columns with no rear guards, okay, choose one of your opponent's Vanguards to deal it. So this is where the damage ping for Trinity Flame did. Okay, so we didn't forget about that. Okay. Okay. I don't like this though. 2 reasons. 1, this condition is really easy, and it feels needless when this condition is also making you like kind of lethal anyway. So this is too much hammering on your opponent for something that they couldn't really prevent. But that's sort of like a minor nitpick of, hey, you're doing too much. The main nitpick is this damage ping is irrespective of your opponent's damage level. If they're at 5 damage, healer, you win the game. Just because you got field wipe but you couldn't stop it? Nah, That's not very good design. Even Dragonic Overlord the Purge, which was a set 13 card, so that was a GZ card, that one did care about how much cards was in your opponent's damage zone. That one did say, hey man, you can only go up to 5 no matter what. I won't ping you. And this gave your opponent another choice, you know, a lot like how Kagura was, where they pressure you based on your choices. You could go to 5 against Overlord early so that you don't suffer the damage ping, but it did mean that the Purge would get like quintuple drive easier even without the damage ping. So there was a bit of a tweak in law there, but for this one you just get to have your cake and eat it too, and that's just kind of ridiculous to me. Yeah, this would have been a real gangbuster unit had this been released like in a theoretical set 15 for G. It's too strong. I do like some of the concepts though, right? How they do the Trinity Flame and stuff, and how they do a column based gimmick. I think the idea of column adds an interesting element to how your opponent wants to make their formation. It tells them not to be stingy, but it went overboard, so that's unfortunate. Rising Knight of Birthing Light Gurgit, grade 3, 11k power. Auto on the Vanguard Circle, counterblast 1, when your G unit strode, you may pay the cost. If you do, look at 5 cards at the top of your deck, choose up to 1 card from among them, call it to rear circle, shuffle your deck, and that unit gets 3k until end of turn. If you call a unit with the Unite ability, look at 3 cards at the top of your deck, choose up to 1 unit among them, call it to rear circle, shuffle your deck. If you call 2 units the Unite ability, countercharge 1, all of your Vanguards get, all of your rear cards get boosted until end of turn. Bro, are you sure this ain't like a stride effect, bro? Damn, this strider be doing like a lot of the work for your Vanguards. What the frick, man? Like, don't get me wrong. It does feel somewhat like an evolution of what Gurgit's supposed to do anyway. Golden Holy Sword Gurgit was somewhat the same way, where if you called a Unite on stride, then you were able to call the top card. But it was really just top card you called, and it was at rest. This thing doesn't rest the second card. It gives you a wider search radius for both of searches, and it lets you countercharge it back, and all your rear guards will get boosted continuously. It's not even the rear guards that are currently on the field. It's a continuous Vanguard skill that you give to your stride, so even stuff called afterwards gets that. Yeah, that's way too much, man. Holy crap. We haven't gotten to the second effect. Continuous on the Vanguard Circle once per turn, Generation Break 2, Unite, Soul Blast 1. When this unit is attacked, you may pay the cost. If you do, look at 5 cards to the top of your deck, call 2 cards from among them to Guardian Circle. At the end of that battle, the attack didn't hit, just 1 grade 3 or lower card. No! For just a Soul Blast? Nah, fam, this is crazy, bro. No, this is way too much. You mean to tell me that you could call a PG, and then you can add back the PG for a Soul Blast, effectively Kanzen guarding too? No, dude. And what's also sad is that this is ignoring the Golden Holy Sword playstyle of using your field to defend you, which was a way cooler way of implementing Gold Paladin's ability to replenish the board. Oh, I just don't like this. It does too much, and it feels like cheap compared to like how Gurgit normally did. I mean, now your traditional play cycle, you're gonna get all of these benefits, and all you really did for all those benefits effectively is Soul Blast 1, and you kind of plus 4. That's crazy. Or, well, actually, no, this is 2 cards, right? So, like, let's see. Soul Blast 1, you get 2 cards for the economy, so that's a plus 2. And then you get 1 back to reuse, that's a plus 3. And then this is a plus 2. You plus 5 for a Soul Blast. Moving on. Dawning Night of the Eternal Sun, Gurgit Corona. Oh, that's a risque name. Auto on the Vanguard Circle, Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, choose a face down card for your G zone, turn it face up. When this unit attacks, if you pay the cost, if you do, look at 7 cards to the top of your deck, choose up to 4 cards from among them, call it. Okay, that's not too bad. I mean, Glorious Reigning exists. And you call 4 more cards with the Unite ability this turn, alright. This unit gets Drive +1 and Critical +1. Okay, it's still not crazy. At the end of the battle, if you have a hard card with Gurgit, it's named 4 more cards to your rear circles. Now it's crazy. Why does it restand? Okay. I'm gonna show you guys a card. Right. Let's do some comparisons real quick. Advaris Vanguard. No, not Icarus. Give me a second. Alright. So, check this card out. Golden Knight of Prosperity, Idvaris. This is a Stride made in 2022, not GR, 2022 Premium. This card counterblasts ones and puts all of your rear guards, all of your rest rear guards to the bottom of the deck. And if you put 4 or more, it stands with -2 drive. It loses 2 drive, and you had to neg 4. It enables a multi-attack of 2 from the hand, but that's from the hand, so you're not plussing because of that. And it gives a minor power buff, right? Now, let's compare it to what we've got going on here. This thing pluses you 4 for just a counterblast to Soul Blast. It pluses you 4, and then you also get a drive and a critical, which is another plus, and also critical pressure, and it's a freestanding Vanguard that doesn't lose drive, which means you're going to be drive checking 8 times, both with critical pressure, and you plus 4 instead of negged 4. Oh, great, and it has wonderful. It has a Generation Break 3 ability to give 3k to all units called this turn, which is not that much different than the 5. Why is this card a G card? This is like Premium Collection 2030, dude. No way, no. This is so bad. Okay, moving on. Oh, man, I'm sorry. I don't like that card. It's too busted. Goddess of Divine Water, Ichikashima. Oh, great, Ichikashima. I wanted to turn to a better life, greener pastures, and we're at Ichi. I don't think so. Auto on the Vanguard Circle, Soul Blast 1. When this unit is placed, or when your G unit stride, you may pay the. Oh, this is actually a Ichikashima that's a Strider, right? I should pay more attention to the stats there. If you do, look at 4 cards at the top of your deck, put them on the top or bottom of your deck in any order, and draw a card. If you have 2 or more cards in your G zone, look at 2 cards at the top of your opponent's deck, put on the top of the deck in any order? Huh. I'm not gonna give my opinion on that yet. Auto, Vanguard Circle, Generation Break 2. At the beginning of your ride phase, you can choose up to 1 card from your opponent's drop zone to put on the top of their deck. No. No one, Oracle Think Tank, no, okay. I mean, it's kind of cool, I guess, but, bro. There was a video on YouTube like a long time ago where there's this dude and he was doing a Vanguard video and it says what your favorite clan says about you. And when he went to the Oracle Think Tank section, he says, you hate fun. And so when you just like you're looking at the opponent, they're at 5 damage, like you don't know if they're gonna hit like a defensive OT or defensive like heal or something, and then this is just like no. Well, I guess OT's not in G, but still defensive heal. It's like no, you're going to be damage checking your grade 3. Divine Deity, a Pure Majesty, Ichikashima. Okay, so this is a Stride Ichikashima. Oh, the joy. Act. Vanguard Circle, Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, flip down to face down, turn face up. Reveal 4 cards to the top of your opponent's deck. For every trigger unit, this unit gets Drive +1, which, I mean, great. You get to, like, stack your opponent's deck anyway, so this is super easy. For every trigger unit, this gets a drive. For every normal unit, all of your front units get power +5000 to end of turn. If you have a hard card with Ichikashima in its card name, you can put the reveal cards on the top or bottom of your opponent's deck in any order. Which means that if you don't have a hard card, then you still get to look at the top 4 cards of their deck, which is such easy free information, man. And then Generation Break 4, your opponent can't call grade 4 higher cards from their hand of guardians. What? Why? You didn't even put an Oracle on that, dude. This doesn't even have Oracle. Oracle was like kind of a limiter for freaking OTT, where you need to maintain a pretty decent hand size at all times to get that kind of crap. This one just says no. Once you just flip up a few cards, bro, it's over. It's over. There's no PGs. There's nothing your opponent can do about this. That's so crazy. No way. And your stuff is getting more power, and you're getting a drive. You're stacking your opponent's deck so they won't be hitting defenses to fight back against this, but defenses was a really good way to fight back against this crap. You can say sayonara to that crap. And, you know, you also get to just stack your deck easy with, like, Ichikashima, right? So you're probably going to be hitting at, like, at least a couple triggers. Oh my god, dude. I mean, okay, in fairness, the progression of this felt a little bit more reasonable compared to like what this monstrosity was and this monstrosity was. But this is still crazy. Your opponent just can't guard this, right? Like, they really can't. It feels like even more severe than the previous Ichikashima that we got originally in G. And if this is more severe than that crap, and that crap is already one of the strongest, if not like the strongest stride in OTT, then we're kind of lost at this point. So it's not that bad. It might be the best designed of the 3 strides so far. It does utilize kind of an interesting gimmick with the opponent's deck, but I don't know, this thing's got me really spooked, bro, and maybe it's just my bias, but I'm like, I don't know, bro. This is still kind of like too much, where you're just getting like a pretty big field, especially because you can just choose to put a card in your opponent's deck, so you can choose which of these you want more of. You can dig more drives. That's wild. And this part, like, oh my god, dude, you don't even have to care about your opponent's like top decks, really. Even if you don't have a hard card, you still strike this crap. Dragonic Overlord, the Inferno. Okay, so we do have another Dragonic Overlord Strider, which doesn't feel necessary. The Destiny was really strong. Please don't power creep the Destiny. Counterblast when this unit is placed for your G unit stride, you may pay the cost if you do choose one of your Vanguards to get power plus 5,000 and auto Vanguard rear once per turn. Choose 3 cards from your hand to discard them. At the end of the battle with this unit attack, you pay the cost if you do stand. Free restand. No. Auto on the Vanguard circle. At the beginning of your ride phase, choose one of your opponent's rear circles. Retire all cards on it. Alright. Look at top 7 cards to your deck. Choose the 1 Overlord at change. So you, yeah, so you just took like the Purge's like stride skill and then just like did it again, effectively, right? I mean, I think the cost is a little bit different, but yeah, that's he just did that again, which, I mean, that part is fine, right? Like, that part makes sense. But really, bro? Really? Yeah, you really had to give your Overlord the ability to discard 3 and restand. Like, it keeps all of its drives and all of its power and stuff. Oh no, that's for, like, what's crazy is this doesn't care what you put this on. You could put this on Ziegenberg if you want. You could put this on the GB8 if it makes it that far. I mean, your opponent probably dies to GB anyway, but still, you could do it on that. You could do this crap on the Purge. And the Purge, with its quintuple drive, it's going to get to discard 3 and then just do another 5 drives, which is holistically an extra +2. And it's an extra attack and it gets more power. And it tings your opponent to damage anyway. Oh my god. Oh no. No. Okay, but I mean, this needed to be more costly. Like, sure, you counterblast 1. You have a card that lets you countercharge 2 every time you attack. That Lizard General Conroy, I think is his name. Counterblast is not a cost if you have that card, man. Yeah, this is a little bit, like, overtuned. This is fine, but, I mean, I guess that makes sense. It was kind of based on, like, a pre-existing card anyway, so it sort of had to be fine. Okay. So, Supreme Ruler of the Apocalypse, Dragonic Overlord, the Victory. Great, another Dragonic Overlord. Makes sense. I bet this one's going to restand as well. Plus 15,000 power, grade 4. Auto on the Vanguard circle, Counterblast 1. Choose 4 cards from your hand, including a card with Overlord in its card name, and discard them. Oh, this is definitely restanding. At the end of the battle with this unit attacked, you may pay the cost. If you do stand this unit gets plus 5,000 power and critical plus 1 ton a turn. So, what you do is you do this first so that it gets the extra critical. And then you do this to restand it. And because neither of these things are minusing drives, you're digging 9 cards. And 2 of them are getting an extra critical. And all of them get plus 5k. And 2 of them is plus 10k. Okay, continuous Vanguard Circle Generation Break 4. When this unit stands, choose one of your rear guards, stand in, that unit gets put more multi-attack. That's not even an Overlord skill. Overlord doesn't even do that. What? Nah, why are we doing that? It should be like another retire or something like that. Punish the field. Don't just restand a rear guard. I mean, the only thing that, like, about Overlord that was like, yeah, you know, like, fight with your rear guard as well was like the Great. The Great actually used Dragonic Neoflame like that, right? But that's like the exception, not the norm. Why are you doing that? Oh, wait, hold on a second. I noticed something. Where's your once per turn? You can keep counterblasting and discarding 4 and keep triple driving into more? No, no. Oh, these are so poorly designed. Your opponent's going to die. The first hit. You don't even need this crap. This crap is just extra, but it's free. It's generator break 4. Like, literally, once you get to GB4, especially, but even without GB4, like, you probably just, like, win in your first stride. Your opponent just can't handle this crap. This crap will just kill you no matter what. Oh, no. Oh. And then if you check draw triggers mitigate the cost even more. Why? Okay. On to another card. Oh, this one's actually a visual card. All right, well, let's go ahead and check out what this thing. Wow, look at that guy. This guy looks cool. Now that's some art. I feel like I've seen him before, but maybe I haven't. Is he a Vanguard card? Is he a Buddy Fight card? What is he? He looks really wicked, whatever he is. Okay. Auto on the Vanguard circle once per turn. When this unit attacks, I like the flavor text. The ever-burning soul dwells in its blade. Rise forth, Ignis! It's cool. Counterblast 1. Retire up to 5 of your opponent's rear guards. Why is there a period there? If 2 or more were retired, reveal the top 6 cards of your deck. Call up to 2 grade 3 or lower cards with Guy Burn or Guile in their card name to rear circle, then put up to 2 cards from among them to the hand, and put the rest on top of on the deck in the order. If 1 or less rear guards were retired, draw a card, search your deck for up to a grade 2 or lower card, add it to the hand, and after this unit attacks, stand this unit gets. Why does it keep going? Why does it keep going? What? What? Oh, okay. It's time to do some math. If you do the entire field wipe, that's a holistic -5 on the opponent. And then you reveal the top 6 cards. You +2 to the field. You +2 to the hand. So it's a +4. And then you get to stack 2. And then after that, which ironically, because you're going to draw as well, so then you can probably just draw one of your normal unit stacks or whatever, even a trigger unit for first shield, right? You draw 1, so it's a +5 and a -4 for your opponent, and then you search your drop for a grade 2 or lower card and add to the hand, which is a +6, and then after this unit attacks, you stand it with drive -1, which is now a +7. So you -4, possibly you -5 to the opponent, and then you're +ing 7 to yourself. And it has a second effect. Oh, dare I even. Auto on the Vanguard circle once per turn. During your opponent's guard step, if a sentinel were placed on Guardian Circle while this unit is attacking, and your opponent has 3 or more cards in their damage zone, Counterblast 1 and Soul Blast 1, nullify that. I was afraid of that. Nullify the Sentinel and retire it. Oh. I have no words. This is too. I can't even comment. Like, I literally broke it down for you guys. Everything this card does. No. Here's the one I made a while ago. A few more I made. I'll show this one for now. Currently only has 1 support. I'm not sure how to balance out. Don't want to make it too OP. Yeah, we don't want to, you know, this card is fine, right? This card is like peak card design, but you know, that support card, oh wait, we don't want to make that support card like too bad. Like, what is it gonna do? Discard 1, ping 3 damage to the opponent? Jesus, man. Oh, I bet this dude like is gonna, I hope this dude ripped into that. No way. Support, okay. They're just giving a little, giving like, there was a support card. Huh. When this unit is placed by the ability for Guy Burn or Guile, if your opponent has Guy Burn, okay, well then why would you even have that first restriction if you already have the Guy Burn restriction? So you should just have it be one or the other. Counterblast when it gets 10,000 power and critical +1. Oh, the joy, right? Zamoog. Zamoog's power crept a little bit, except the cost is a little bit heavier. If out on the rear, when these units retire during your battle step, by having a unit with Guile's card name be placed on top of this unit, okay, because you, oh, right, that's something I forgot about this crap, right? I neglected to mention that this first skill, it's when it attacks, so it's also multi-attack. Okay. So if it was retired, and then you place something over it, then you draw a card. If your damage zone has 3 or more face down cards, countercharge 1, yippee, you know, even more free. I mean, yeah, sure, the other card counterblast 2, so you just get to repay 1 of this counterblast. If your Vanguard with Guiburn and its card name stand by its own ability, this is not once per turn, by the way, counterblast 1, stand this unit gets 5,000 in a crit? I can't fathom why you would do that. I mean, it already has 10,000. 15,000 power with triple critical. And because it's a stand thing, and this isn't once per turn, you're looking at a rear guard that could swing with plus 20,000 power and 4 critical naturally. I'm done. Oh, this is exhausting work, man. Oh, this is exhausting, dude. Okay, let me... All I can say is, God help us all if Vanguard ever came to that. Wow, it's been a year since then. Yeah, and what a year it's going to be this year, it looks like. Demon World Marquis Ammon. Okay, so you misspelled Marquis, but that's cool. Okay, so we got an encounter Ammon. That's nice. Alright. Let me mentally reset. Wow. My head hurts. Continuous. If you have 10 or more cards in your soul, this unit gets 5,000 power. Active on the opponent's turn 2. Ooh, nice defensive skill. Alright, I can dig that. It's kind of like MLB. Auto on the... Auto, counterblast 1. Ooh, I don't even know where this is supposed to be. I'm going to assume the Vanguard circle, though. When this unit attacks, send 1 card each from drop and rear into soul. Send 1 card other than the Overtrigger or Sentinel from drop on the top of your deck. Shuffle your deck. Alright, so you can recycle even a trigger. This unit gets 5,000 power for every card in your soul with Ammon in its card name, so you get a lot of Ammons in there. At the end of your turn, draw a card. Why are you drawing at the end of your turn? I mean, you already shuffled the deck, so it's not like you had a deck stack there, dude. That's a weird... That's a really weird time to draw a card. And it's not even you may, so you might deck yourself out with that if you happen to hit a draw trigger you didn't want to. Okay. This is a really big swing, but it doesn't get a critical naturally. You can shuffle back a crit, but you're shuffling, you're not deck stacking. So, okay, that keeps in theme with Ammon, plus it's already getting 5,000 power continuously, so it's going to be a huge swing. When this unit attacks auto, if you have 6 or less cards in your deck, your opponent must guard put 2 or more cards into the Guardian Circle. Oh, so it has a battle door skill when you have a really small deck. That's an interesting skill. It is very precarious, admittedly, and you'll also want to proc this first and then proc this, so that if you are exactly at 6, then your put back one isn't going to screw with you. I guess this is why he says at the end of the turn draw a card, because he doesn't want to mess with this. So but that doesn't even make sense anyway, because you could chain these skills to use this first anyway. So in no situation would putting a card back help your 6 or less condition, right? All it would do is that, assuming that you have 2 cards in deck, putting 1 back would let you achieve the attack before you deck out during the end phase. So that's where that is meaningful, but it isn't meaningful for this part of it. Still, I think that's pretty fair. Really big swinger, gets battle doored eventually. It's pretty basic stuff, but I kind of like it. It's also defensive, so it helps you get there. Ammon's father, Ronjin Lean, probably going to get Foo. Yep, Foo for grade 1, just confirmed. Vanguard, when this unit is placed on the Vanguard circle, so it's a right line, of course, right? Just like it says. Look at 3 cards at the top of your deck, send 1 to the soul. If you send a normal unit, draw a card. If you send a trigger unit, return a card from drop to your hand. Good card. Good stuff. I like that. That is kind of pitch perfect. Pun intended, because of, you know, pitching a card. Rear guard, auto. When this unit is put into soul by the ability of your Vanguard with Ammon on its card name, Oh, right. This part. It's brain fart. I didn't even realize that. Okay, when it's put into soul, your opponent's soul blasts 2 cards out of their soul. If they could not, they flip a card from the damage zone face down instead. No taxation without representation. We're going to either, man, we're either going to rip out your soul prison style, or we're going to rip out your damage Gradora style. That's cool. That is another thing that helps you grind, right? Because your opponent has so much resources to bring to bear against you. That is a clever effect. I kind of dig that flavor. Ammon's follower, Fujin Lean. When this unit is placed on the Vanguard circle, I like the when places too. You get immediate benefits for your buck. Immediate bank for your buck, I guess would be the better way of putting that. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 0, draw a card. Ooh, so you're getting a draw if you're going first anyway. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 1, your opponent's soul blasts 1 card out of their soul. See, here's the thing I don't like about that. There are situations where this effect going second is meaningless. Not only because your opponent doesn't need the soul all the time like that, but also because there are times where a grade 1 in the ride line will soul blast anyway. Case in point, the Bafsaga ride line, which is also a generic ride line for some Dragon Empire players, it's going to soul blast 1 with Namurkar. So you're not going to have any soul if Fu is going second. So this means that Fu does nothing on the Vanguard circle. That feels bad, man. Okay, I at least appreciate that Ron can be played independently of Fu, so bare minimum, what you could do is just play a generic grade 1 instead, so maybe something like Flaming Pony for the soul charge too, if you would like. You could just play something normal, I guess, and there you go. Hell, you could even be that guy and play a Diabolos, not Richard, what's his name, Steve? You could play like Steve, Matt, and then call out the freaking Matt, and then Matt can be put into soul with Ammon, and I think you can do that, right? Well, if you have to be rode upon by Richard, then you couldn't get the Ron effect, which, I don't know. So this is kind of a gamble. I don't know if I like the gamble too much because it feels misinformed, but it is flavorful if nothing else, so that's kind of nice. And it does let you draw when going first, so if you win coin flips, you're going to be feeling really good about it. You'll be feeling like a stride deck set. Rear guard. When this unit is put in a soul by the ability of your Vanguard with Ammon on its card name, your opponent's soul blasts 2 cards out of the soul. They could not, they discard a card from hand. Another taxation effect. Alright, cool. So you're really killing your opponent's soul, which is the entire point of the strategy. That means that Fu at least should be a main deck card. Honestly, the move here, not gonna lie, would be to put Fu like as 4 copies in your main deck and none in the right line, so that you can maximize seeing that effect from like the field. Also, if you discard it from hand, then you can put it back from the soul. Although of course this is a rear guard ability, so I guess from the drop it wouldn't proc anyway, so you would you'd have to do it from the rear guard, but still it maximizes your chances of seeing that, which is kind of nice. Oh, it's kind of funny, this one says like rear guard auto, but this one just says rear guard, so I think he just forgot to do it on that one. Just the minor grammatical errors, right? And building card text and problem solving card text, which is kind of absent in a lot of these, but you know, we forgive it because we understand the intent behind it. We don't need to get nitpicky. Anyway, I just like putting it out sometimes. Ammon's follower, Fake Collector, it wins second, draw a card. Alright, makes sense. Poet of Darkness Ammon. Okay, we're getting some support cards here, that's cool. If you went, so auto win this unit boost, soul charge 1, it gets 5,000 power, and if you have a Vanguard with Alman on its card name. Perfect. When this unit is put into soul by the ability of your Vanguard with Alman in its card name, this one doesn't say rear guard. Wait a minute, that's why. No. Yeah, okay, cool. So these are rear guard specifics, right? These two? This one isn't even from rear guard, so you could put this one from the drop. Okay, I dig that. So when it's put into the soul by the ability of your Ammon, send a card from your hand into soul and draw one. Nice soul building. It's a lot like a V series Fugi lane, right? Okay, I'm digging that. Ammon's follower, Hell's Draw. Auto on place, soul charge 2. Just anywhere. Okay. If it's anywhere, then man, play this on your ride line potentially. This unit gets 5k. If you soul charge 2 trigger units, get 10k instead. Okay. When this unit attacks, if your soul has 6 or more cards with Ammon's card name, your opponent can only intercept and can only guard with normal units for this battle. That's a win condition, potentially. You stack your all of your triggers, including, if not especially your critical triggers, on Hell's Draw. And then Hell's Draw will swing, and unless the opponent specifically has a regular Konzengardo, they can't guard. That's pretty strong, man. I don't know. Oh, that's kind of scary. That ironically means that Hell's Draw is the stronger win condition than Ammon himself, which just it feels counter to a Vanguard-centric deck like Ammon. So Ammon's followers, Hell's Trick, grade 1. Auto, when discarded from hand or sent into soul by the ability of Vanguard with Ammon's name, your... What? Your opponent loses 3 energy. No, no. Oh man, that's funny. Oh, that's so effed up. Okay, okay. I don't think this would allow to see the light of day. Just because energy is so precious and fundamental, right? I mean, it's one thing to make your opponent rip out soul, but I mean, your opponent energy is such a new mechanic. We don't have a lot of ways of like building it back up other than the natural 3-way. So you're just like, lose 3 energy. That means your opponent's gonna like burn them as much as possible, as soon as possible, so they don't like fall into Hell's Trick. It's not even a hard once per turn. So if you like discard it from hand and then send it to soul, or hell, you have one in the drop zone and then one on the field because it doesn't even specify on rearguard circle, your opponent loses 6 energy. Take that, Samu. I'm the strongest Dark States player now. Yeah, okay, that's a little bit too much. You know what? It probably should have been, I think if it was lower to like 1 energy, I'd dig it more, because then it's a lot more like annoying and it could take your opponent down from a critical threshold, which is really cool. But, you know, thinking about it more, this is like a Dark States deck that plays like Mega Colony. It really bugs ya. But puns aside, I like it. I like how it's draining your opponent's resources. That is a cool late game strategy, which is conducive of this late game effect and this late game effect. So it's pretty cool and flavorful. There's some spelling errors, and I also feel like it's virtually costless, right? Like I am on like Counterblast 1, which is I think the biggest cost you're going to expend here. So aside from that, yeah, you're virtually costless, which makes things super easy for this deck. Oh man, yeah, I mean, I kind of like it, but it's on thin ice. I think there's some ways that it could improve. It needs more fundamental costs. I think it needs some more restrictions, so you can't like keep manipulating these. Also, a couple of these are just a little bit too powerful. Like, lose 3 energy should be changed, like, lose 1 energy. But I think the fundamentals are still there. And some cards like Poda Darkness Ammon feels pitch perfect to me, dude. What a cool card. All right, Constant Abroad. Let's see, what's next here? Okay, I think I'm going to have Nikonus be the last one of the day. So we're going to do 2 more, and then we'll call it here. Constant Abroad. D Assist Crest. Okay. Type G-Zone Crest. Is this a premium support? You only have 1 G-Zone Crest and cannot put to deck. However, it must be placed face up in your G-Zone. Does not count for Generation Break. Oh, okay. This is kind of weird, but I think I'm getting it. It's sort of just like a token card you place face up on your G-Zone, but it doesn't count for GBs. Continuous, you gain access to a ride deck. However, you cannot ride greater or greater cards with a Magic Gift. But like, oh, okay, so you have, so I guess this is for standard decks. So standard decks can have a fighting chance in premium, so they can get their ride line back. All right, but I guess your deck composition, your ride line rules would like still adhere to the deck composition, so you'd have less cards in deck than you would with the 50 card deck. So right now we're at 50 cards in the main deck, and then you've got 5 cards in the ride deck, and you include the crest. For regular, right, for premium, you should have 49 cards in the deck, excluding the starter. So if this is pulling 4 cards from that, then you should be at 45 starting with. And I guess you don't get the energy crest, right? But wait, no, hold on a second. You get access to a ride deck, so that means you also get access to the energy generator? Because that'd be really nuts. I mean, that'd give a definite fight back for your standard deck. So I guess maybe that's the point. It's just you're really bringing standard into premium. But there's a lot of ruling shenanigans that have to be sussed out for this to even work. Continuous during your turn. If your Vanguard is greater or greater, all of your front row gets 5k power for each face-up card in your G-Zone. Yeah, okay, so it's like a Stride deck crest. Wait, but hold on a second. That just means you can play the Stride deck set ride decks with like Luard and Shiranui there, because they don't have a Mastery Gift icons. So you play those, you get your crest automatically, which is super crazy for something like Shiranui, which is currently topping, even though they have to leave it to chance to even see, like, I think Seizui is the name of the grade 1. So you just get that automatically, and now this crest is going to be doubling down on the 5k for each face-up, like, GB. What the heck? Now it's 10k per? Whoa. All of your normal unit on Guardian Circle Ritual Shield, you got 10k. Active in the opponent's turn, well, obviously. So, your grade 3s are 10k shields. Your grade 2s are 10k shields. Your standard grade 1s are 10k shields. Wow, no. During your turn, your G unit Vanguard gains the ability of your heart. Everything is now a Crystal Luster. Oh, man. Why? We don't even need to talk about this, right? Like, the infinite number of combinations that you could do with this, putting all of your standard bosses, like, just imagine, right? Like, doing this and playing Blankmire, and now the Blankmire condition, you can also pair with other crazy crap with your strides, right? Like, you could pair it with Blader Mouse for the re-stands while under the Blankmire condition. You could pair it with, what's another crazy DI stride? I guess, let's see, Vorfax? Yeah, because, like, Vorfax can, like, when it, like, goes back and it puts back the crits, you can then also, once again, play Blankmire's skill to, like, draw, get more binds face down. Then if you haven't achieved the condition for Divine Skill yet, you will then. So that's really crazy. Rezael can combo with all the Keter decks and do all sorts of crazy shenanigans. Like, any restanding Vanguard, like, let's say Idvaris, can now also utilize the skills of, like, Rezael to then cull from the drop back, which we already saw that that card was a neck 4, so you can just place back some more cards and keep going, which, yeah, that's wild. So on and so forth. I don't need to keep explaining it, right? This is just over the top. We don't want more V plus decks. We don't want more crazy instances of, like, just Chainranker and most particularly Crystal Luster was already kind of game breaking for their clans, right? Chainranker not so much, I guess, because you have more Fest, so that's already taken up that mantle more. But Crystal Luster was just the entirety of Royal Paladin in a nutshell. Royals was just Crystal Luster, the deck in Premium. Why do you want to, like, make that even a bigger problem now? That just doesn't make any sense, man. And then you get all these other benefits. I just can't fathom. It even has another one. Auto at the beginning of your main phase, your Vanguard's grade 3 or greater, energy charge 2 and counter charge 1. Okay, so he does want you to play the energy generator then. And you get 2 energy for free and counter charge 1. Edit, this card only belongs in premium format. Yeah, thanks, bud. I kind of figured. Though, the only, like, dude, no, there's not a single effect here that isn't fundamentally unfair on some aspect or another. And this would make every standard deck, or most particularly, like, the standard strike deck set stuff, they would outpace everything else. Like, they would outpace literally everything else in the format. V, like, I know markers are strong. V would probably not stand a chance compared to this crap, man. The ride consistency, the added extra power from your GBs, the added extra shield, the ability to get free resources like this, and everything being a Crystal Luster minus the triple battle door. This would tear Premium in half. It would be the Wild West all over again, seeing what are the most game-breaking combinations you can do to best break this. This isn't like the D assist crest. This is the P breaker crest, dude. Oh man, I'm sorry, I don't like that at all, but it's entertaining to fathom all the possibilities of just how game-breaking it is. Nikonis, all right, bro. Let's go ahead and finish off with you, bro. Insane Cheer Jocelyn. Sounds like a Spikes card. Continuous on the rear circle. During the battle, this unit boosted if you have 3 or more units with Flam G. Oh, it's a Flam G card. Nice. In their credit from card names, this unit gets 5,000 power. All right, that's a cool booster. It feels like, oh wait, is it one of the 2K boosters? Let's see. Auto on the rear circle when your Flam G Beauclair is placed on your Vanguard circle during your battle phase, which is the general play cycle of the deck. Is you swing a van and then you place the new van, which is the grade 0, and then you swing into your field. If this unit boosted the Vanguard this turn, okay, put this unit in Soul, choose one of your Vanguards, it gets 10k, and if you Persona Route this turn, it gets critical +1. Good. Good card. It definitely should be your ideal booster. It makes Beauclair a lot more threatening as an attack, because Beauclair is not the most threatening attack, especially because it only gets 1 drive. So to compensate, you give it mandatory critical pressure, which means that if your opponent's at 4, they're going to want to block your Vanguard, and this is already going to have critical pressure, so they'll need to block that too. And then if you happen to luckily check a critical or a critical equivalent like Ida's Faro off the top, and you can give it one of your rears, and I'll have to guard that as well. Really cool card. I like it a lot, and it puts itself in the Soul, so it's technically a -1 in order to get this going, but it's a meaningful -1 because it gives you a lot of pressure on your Vanguard. Also, putting the Soul is very crucial because Soul can be a bit of a problem as far as resources go for Flam G. You need Soul for several things, and you may not always have Soul, especially because you need to keep Beauclair in the Soul at all times. Very, very intelligent design card. This is perfect. Great Tribulation. When this unit, when this card is put in your order zone, okay, if your Vanguard is Griffo C, draw a card, choose your Vanguards, get power +5,000 to end of turn. Oh, hey, cool. So this is, this must be a grade 0 set order then. All right, let's see. Yep, there it is. Cool. Grade 0 set order. Nice. Continues in the order zone. The grade of Griffo Seed on your Vanguard becomes equal to the number of Calamity cards with different card types in your Soul. You cannot ride or strike cards other than high. Yeah! Oh, perfect! We can finally get some early game with Griffo Seed now. If you hit this card, effectively, your Vanguard gets to go up the grade progression like normal. So now you can call your grade 1s on turn 1, your grade 2s on turn 2. Yeah, you can fight back. That's so good, dude. Perfect card. I also dig that because you're drawing a card, you get a little bit of power. There is a benefit to playing it for Griffo Seed being a little bit more threatening as an attacker, but also the draw is mainly the cool thing because you're not negging for it. So for just a simple break even and minor power boost, you get to solve the early game potential. And it's got another effect. Out on the order zone, when your Vanguard with Griffo Gila is placed, okay, so this is on ride, so on the turn 3 and also subsequently when you ride into Vartex or maybe in Persona ride Vartex, put this card into Soul. Retire all of your opponent's front or rear guards. Choose one of your Vanguards, gets triple drive until end of turn. Ooh, that's a cool effect. That is really, really cool. So you're able to get rid of it finally, because the thing is that this card only is useful in the early game. So once you go into Griffo, depending on if your opponent like has some rear guards right away because they rushed you, this is another way to fight back against early rush. You punish them by wiping their front row, a la Bob Sagada style, and then you get a triple drive, which gives Griffo Gila more pressure, right? It also gives it the ability to get more resources to keep going and grinding towards your big finale. And because it's technically triple drive, it also gives it an inherent fallibility to Elementary Sanctitude, which is a very fair drawback in this instance. This, oh man, I wish I wish like he made this into like an actual like card on like custom card maker or something, because I'd throw this crap on the thumbnail right away. Not gonna lie, my favorite card. Both of these cards, absolutely perfect design. I have no complaints whatsoever. Perfect idea of resource economy. Perfectly addresses the issues of their decks and also feels impactful enough to genuinely see play without being game breaking. Nikonis, I love you. My heart out to you. These are two freaking perfect. Like, what was the Homelander meme where he says it was perfect? It's just like that, man. That meme, it goes out just to you. Okay, so these are probably my favorite cards of the day. But looking through this one was a little bit more rocky compared to our start, not gonna lie, right? We had some rough ones. Demon World Marquis Amon, like a pretty cool set of ideas, but it felt like it wanted to be more of a make a colony deck, and there was a little bit of balancing and resource issues there where it was a little bit too easy. This completely breaks an entire format for a multitude of different ways, so it's probably the most game-breaking card. I don't think this one could even spell card balance if you gave it the ABCs. And then you've got the Kagero stuff. This was just overly bombastic, and it's just nothing but restand the Vanguard, which is totally 100% what everyone loves about Overlord, right? Yeah. And then you scroll up, the Gurgwit cards are atrocious, the Ikid Kashima cards I never want to fight against in my life. And then you've got the Vortex. The Vortex ones, it seemed like it was pretty good. Like, this felt like pretty reasonable, but then near the end with the damage ping, it also just felt a way too unreasonable, because there's not really a lot of ways your opponent can stop this, like, at all. Especially because it chooses the opponent's RC and retires all cards in them, so even Resist can't stop it now that I think about it, so that's really crazy. Yeah, the Destined ones were pretty cool, though. The Destined ones had, like, some ups and downs, admittedly. The best ones were probably the last two, right? Galaxios and Grand Armor are freaking phenomenal. I dig these a lot. And then Mary can use some improvement because it feels a little bit too hard to fulfill the condition, but it has a very, if you could fill the condition properly, it gives you fine payoff for it, and the divine skill is very impactful, almost Murakumo-y again, right? Which is it's a genuinely interesting thematic that Lyrical hasn't really accomplished yet. So good points for creativity. Eugene's a little bit overboard, but still it takes a lot of what makes Eugene like viable and gives it its deck identity, and then it just cranks that up to the next level. So that's pretty damn cool. Barrow Magnus, its divine skill doesn't function very properly, but these two skills are really good. And then Kaziel just doesn't work, right? So overall, my favorite cards go to Nikonis. My favorite Destined one is going to go over to Galaxios. And then aside from that, well, I guess I would say like the least impressive card here. I wouldn't even like say the least impressive card, but I will say that there were a couple like really vexing ones like this one. I'm just like, I don't even know what the design space for this card even was, right? But how even this could even get like if improved properly and given a lot of like guidance, it could be made into something with a lot more of a image to it. I mean, hell, it doesn't even feel like a Dragon Empire card somewhat, right? Like, it does do the field wipe, and that's about it. Okay. That's gonna do it. If you guys, tell me down below, right? If you guys did like this round of cards, you know, tell me why. What was your favorite ones, right? I'm gonna go with my boy Nikonis here, but if there's an argument made for some other ones, you know, be sure to let me know. Is there anything about these cards that I missed that is interesting to bring up that maybe makes them reflect better or more poorly upon retrospect? Then let me know that as well. I'm gonna try and keep turning these out like once every few days, just about. There's a few different ideas I have to go through, and also it's just kind of a tough time in real life, so do be patient with me. This is going to be a bit more of a slow burn this season, but I'm still trying to get to this in a timely manner. So I hope my pace is sufficient to keep y'all satisfied, right? Because I don't want to bum everyone else if I'm moving too slowly now, right? The season is going to feel like an entire eternity if I did that, right? Alrighty. With that said, if you guys did like this episode, but you didn't see the season premiere, go ahead and check it out. It should be in the custom card playlist that I've made. And if you've caught up on that, maybe go ahead and check out the previous seasons if you haven't. But if you caught up on that as well, then check out my other Vanguard content. I've got fight nights, top 10s, discussion videos, anime reactions, the whole shebang. So check it out. If you like what you see, consider leaving a subscribe and turn on the notification bell for the next time I upload a video. And with that said, take care. God bless.